Well, welcome. We got Maya from Switzerland today on the call as well, and Birgit, she's here in Mallorca. Beverly, whose fault it is, we're all here. She's also here on the call, and yeah, all you guys from South Africa, who I'm getting to know little by little.
Looking forward to having you here soon. You'll feel right at home because of your amount of exposure to us. So you'll be speaking like a South African.
No, I can say Joe.
Sure.
And nay. I like the nay. Nay. I like nay.
I tell you what, it's just so beautiful, so amazing that we can all connect like this. We become a global family. And we can all just sit on a Zoom and just connect in a beautiful, sacred environment like this, which is so amazing. George and I, we were talking this week about, what we're going to, I don't want to use the word train, but have a discussion. And George and I, we very much on the same page. So many times we'll be sending messages saying, I was just thinking about that. Oh, I was just thinking about that. So that comes from years of running our own businesses and exposure to a lot of people. And, we've both done network marketing in the past. We've both been involved in, if you want to call it, health or nutritional products. So we've kind of been around the block and we've tried different things. We've known each other for just on 2 years now. And we were involved in another venture. And, George contacted me at the end of last year. He saw that I was a little bit tired and frustrated, and a little bit run down. And he said, Chris, I've got something that's going to really make it. Now listen very carefully, because by me telling you the story, a lot of people have been saying, we don't know what to say to people. How do we start the conversation? How do we get a person to get to the point where they're saying, hey, Chris, wow, that sounds interesting. Please send me more info. That's all where we want to get to. We call that getting to first base. And, when I talk about first base, I'm talking about baseball. So, baseball, you get first base, second base, third base, and home run. So getting to first base really is when a person is asking you for info, because there's one thing, guys, don't ever send information and spam people and send them information without their permission. I always want a person's permission beforehand, before sending anything to them. So what did George do? He saw me on a Zoom and I was tired. I was run down. I was frustrated. I was actually hitting burnout. And he sends me a message and says, hey, Chris, you look like shit. And I'm going, well, thank you very much, George. Thanks for the compliment. He said, I mean that in a nice way. I'm sending it because I'm concerned. You're looking tired. I've got something that will help you. I said, what is it? He said, stem cell rejuvenation in the form of a patch, which is going to help you with your energy and a whole lot more things. And I thought, I've never heard of that before, but it's the way that George worded it. Stem cell rejuvenation technology in the form of a patch. I thought, my goodness, I've heard about stem cells before. And then George sent me the 2-minute clip. It's the one that you saw us last night. We played that on the presentation. It was a 2-minute quick little intro clip. And I thought, wow, it is so professionally done, and it got my attention. And then I said, okay, send me some more info. And then George sent me, I think it was the 18-minute clip where Dr. David Schmidt, the owner of the company, where he talks a bit about the science behind it. And I watched that clip and I thought, this is very interesting. So it was on a Sunday at lunchtime. I phoned George. I phoned him. I said, George, you got my attention. Tell me more about this. And he didn't mention anything about the business side of it or anything. It was just the product that got my attention. So we had a chat for, remember that Sunday, George?
Then I told him a story about Julian.
He told me a story. Well, all George did, when I said to him, tell me more about this, he tells me this story, and this one's leg, and this one playing golf and put the patches on his knees, and I was playing golf and sharing it with his golf buddies. And then Julian, that would help him with his tinnitus. And I thought, hang on a second, wow, Now, it's amazing. George didn't talk on the phone and tell me all about, well, you see, the GHK copper peptide is what actually stimulates the stem cell rejuvenation process, and that would have sort of initially gone over my head. I don't even know what copper peptide was at that stage. So George didn't get all technical on me and try and like impress me with all of the technical words, because that's something that could put a person off. Because if George had to spew out all of this technical jargon, I would have thought, I can't remember all that. This is too much for my brain to take in. George kept it very, it's the patches work. And these are the stories. So, there's nothing like a story of a person getting a result. And then I thought, hang on a second, there's something here. And then when George said to me, Chris, the company is 18 years old. And I was like, hang on a second. Now in my brain, when I hear the word 18 years old, guess what that tells me? Think about the word that popped into my head. There's a word that jumped out as George said that. Stability. Stability. Because a company that's been around for 18 years, they're obviously doing something right. And then George turned around and said, Chris, you know what else? The product that I was telling you about called X39, I think that's as technical as George got. He said the word X39. I thought it sounded like something that Elon Musk was about to shoot into space, some type of rocket. But he said, no, the product is just called X39. That was only launched just 3.5 years ago. And this is like the new kid on the block that is putting LifeWave on the map. And when he said to me, Chris, it's a network marketing company, the product is patented, this new product is hitting that exponential growth curve. In other words, the company did $30 million turnover in 2020, 2021. Last year, they did nearly $300 million turnover. Guys, this is a company that is 10xing itself after COVID. Most companies are closing doors. Most companies worldwide are closing their doors. And here's a company that is 10 timesing its turnover. Do you know what we're sitting on? Because they are projecting for 2025 $1 billion turnover. Guys, think about the word billion and then put the USD symbol there. $1 billion US. Guys, that is a serious chunk of change. That is a lot of money. And, this is where you talk about being in the crest of the wave. This is where we are right now, with the crest of the wave. And everybody I've spoken to, nobody has heard about this before. It's like, where have I been? I'm out there, okay? I've done a lot of things in my life. I've been in business. I've had my own business. I've been in network marketing. I've done all this stuff. And I thought to myself, how come I've never heard of LifeWave? Do you know why? Because it's all about timing. And this is all about frequency. Because if you think about how the patches work, the patches all work on low light frequency. So when it comes to talking to other people, you've got to be tuned in to the frequency of LifeWave beforehand. I saw a picture today that I put on Facebook. I actually wrote it down. It says, your energy introduces yourself before you even speak. Your energy introduces yourself before you even speak. Guys, everything in the world resonates at a certain frequency. Everything is a vibration in this world. And that's what I love about LifeWave. Dr. David Schmidt was talking on a call. It was the best year ever event that we had beginning of the year, where there were 29 speakers talking about different topics. And a woman was talking about, I don't want to get all woo-woo or anything on this call, but we're talking about light workers. They got light workers that do an amazing job in this world, helping on so many different levels. And what's happening is a lot of light workers around the world are getting attracted to LifeWave because of the frequency. It's like tuning into a radio station. Now, if you think about it, you turning that right. Now I'm talking in the old days, we used to turn a dial. Nowadays, you just push a button. But in the old days, you would turn the dial to tune in to a certain frequency. And that's exactly what it's like. So when you want to talk about LifeWave to somebody, they either going to understand it or they're either not. It's sort of like, if you look at, if a woman, she's either pregnant or she's either not. A woman cannot be half pregnant. You either are or you either aren't. It's as simple, black and white. So it works exactly the same. Person either gets it or they either don't. They either get it or they either don't. And that's what I love about LifeWave. And it's product led. It's product driven. Exciting that is. Product driven. And a product is patented and it works and it's in a network marketing structure. Oh my goodness, guys. Sorry, I just get so excited because I know what we are sitting on right now. We are sitting on a gold mine. We are literally sitting on a gold mine. Okay, George, you take over. I'm getting too excited.
No, look, people ask, how do I talk about LifeWave? And I was on a call the other day, Adrian was on the call, and I said every person is something different. So I'll give you two examples from today. I stopped somewhere. No, I had to go to a medical appointment. I'd had a knee scan. And the doctor there, she said, yeah, you have a fracture. And I said, yeah, but how's my knee looking for my age? She said, no, it's normal and so on, but the cartilage is worn. And I said, cartilage. Opportunity to talk about LifeWave. So, she's a doctor on the other side, and I don't know her. I've met her once, but she's got a good vibe. And I kind of said, yeah, no, I'm using these stem cell activation patches. And she was like, what? And they also have one to help with the collagen, which will help the cartilage. No, she says, yeah. I said, well, I'm going to start looking into that as well for my knee. And she said, that sounds interesting. What's the company name? So she wrote it down and I said, Start X39. And I said, you've got my number, because she's got startx39.com. You've got my number because she's in the hospital. My number's there. She knows who I am. And I know she'll look at it and she may or may not get in touch with me. But I threw a seed out in the middle of going to the doctor to be her patient. I have a good feeling about her. Who knows? But then, so I go and stop to have a sandwich in the sun, bocadillo de atún, very tasty one. And there's a lady who's kind of, all the tables are taken, but there's a lady who's kind of falling asleep in her chair. And there's one free chair on that table. And she kind of wakes up and she looks at me and she said, no, why don't you take that chair? I said, yeah, absolutely. So we start talking, and she says, do you live here? Yeah, I live here. You're on holiday. She said, I'm German and, we don't have any sun in Berlin. I said, but you're not fully German. She said, no, I'm half Chinese, half German. And what do you do? I've got an art gallery. And what's that sandwich? She says, that looks really good. I said, oh, yeah, I can recommend that. And it's brilliant. So she ordered that one and we're talking. And so, what do you do? And I said, I work with people, helping them to reactivate their stem cells. Was ist stem cell? I looked it up in Google, stem cell, Zelle. She wasn't interested. It didn't ring a bell for her. So we just went on talking about something else. But I let's say I prospected with her, didn't ring a bell, don't waste any more energy on it, and so on. So it's like every person is a different, ¿cómo se dice en español? Anyway, some people use a cookie cutter approach with everything they do. They do the same thing with each person. I don't. I listen. It's very important to listen to people, as well as maybe in the past I did too much speaking and not enough listening. Probably I definitely did do that. So when you hear or feel a response, then you can go a little bit further. But if there's no response, maybe wait till the next time. Like the guy who I signed up today, it was a process of over 2 months since we first talked, and he showed a little bit of interest and then a little bit more interest, and he was cautious, like, I can't meet this week, I can't, but he knew he was coming to do it. Maybe he didn't want to spend the money, because then he said, I think I'll get the bronze pack. And I said, but you're talking about yourself, you're talking about your mum, you're saying you can't sleep, you're saying your mum's got a lot of pain, I think you need the silver pack. And he goes, okay. But, you know, it's very, how shall I say this? We want everybody to come in yesterday, right? I would like everybody in my world to come in yesterday, and and they to see the results and the downlines to grow super fast. So because they're not all going to come in yesterday, some people get it immediately and they go, yep. For example, if I may, Maya's on the call and she spoke with Birgit yesterday. She hasn't even got her patches. We had a long call with Javi this afternoon because she got it, and she's like, wow. You know, other people, they take more time. So you have to be a mixture of patience, a mixture of and for each person is a different thing that resonates. So, you know, one thing that resonated with Chris, and I was very, for me, was I'm going to turn this off. I really wanted Chris to be in LifeWave. One thing that resonated with him was when I said, Julian, his tiny tinnitus went in half within 2.5 hours, because Lucinda suffers from that. He was like, wow, that's synchronicity. We were talking about that yesterday, saying there has to be something for this. And that's where his real emotional interest started. So it's again, when you're talking to people or when you're around people, for example, give you an example. I've got a new bank director. He's a really nice guy. He's a motorbiker. I'm a motorbiker. We're going to ride motorbikes together one day when the weather's better. And he's like, you should be doing real estate. I said, no, I don't. Blah, blah, blah. He says, I said, this is what I'm doing. And he's like, no, I don't believe in those things, pyramids and things. I don't believe in them. And then I said, yeah, but you know what? We're getting great results with autism. My friend Javi with the autism. Said, yeah, one of my friends got autism. Maybe I'll try. He hasn't got to it yet, but we're going to meet in an event next Tuesday night. And next Tuesday night, I'm going to say to him, yes, listen, you know, you really should try. And I've had all of these stories told to me by people who, not hearsay, people I know. Okay, so in the beginning, you have my story, maybe Chris's stories, Javi's story, but you don't have your own story to tell. For example, Adrian, the other night, he said his sciatica had gone in 3 days, the pain had gone. There you have a story to tell, your own story. And I also said that when people see the results in themselves, that gives a lot more credibility to themselves when they hear other people's stories. Because, like, you know, Adrian maybe was doubtful before he came in and he heard about this and that and the other, but now that he's got a result in himself, Adrian would be much more open to believing other people's stories. And so this builds up a kind of an energy that it helps one, but it also helps everybody in the group. We're working not as individuals. We're individuals in lots of different points of the world, in lots of different countries, but we're also working together in a very connected and deep way, which for me I find very exciting. You know, if I say Birgit, who's on the call, I wanted Birgit right at the beginning. You know, I have huge respect for Birgit. We work together in another project. She's super solid when she gets behind something, but she was like, oh, I don't know about this. Oh, I don't know about this. But because we have a relation, she said, I'll try. She's laughed on the screen. She said, I'll try. And after 2 weeks, no, I don't think this is going, okay. That was a bit sad. She didn't, okay. But then after a month, we had lunch. And I say, you're looking completely different. And she's, yeah, I feel 20 years younger, and all the other things you probably heard me say about her. And so it took Birgit, let's say, a long 2 months she's manager now, so congratulations, since yesterday. So it took her a long 2 months to get to this point here, but she needed those 2 months. But now that she's at this point here, she's super solid. So we got to mix patience with, I'm just always poking. And another thing, Javi, when he talks about me, he says, George is always pointing. I'm pointing. Look there, look here, look here. And that's, in many cases, all you need to do. Look at that. Look what happened there. See this, see that. And let people make their own decisions. The difference between, for example, we have a friend, lovely friend, Raquel. She's not on this call because she doesn't understand English at all. Otherwise, she would be. Right at the beginning, she said to me, I can't sell anything. I'm not a salesperson. But I was with her in her town 3 times now, 7,000 people, and go for a walk with her. Everybody says hello to her. Everybody knows her. She knows everybody. She's got a kind word for, the older people, the younger people. It's wonderful to be moving around her town with her. And it's like, but you don't need to sell anything. And it took me really a long time to understand why she wasn't getting it. Until we had that event with David Schmidt, where he talked at the end, or somebody talked, and he spoke about heart to heart to heart to heart. We're sharing something heart to heart. And when I understood that Raquel hadn't kind of understood that from me from the beginning, even though it was clear to me, and she was stuck on, I'm trying to sell something, then she got it. And now she's like calling me every day. I'm talking to this one, I'm talking to that one, because she's sharing something, because she had the result in herself, with her mum and with her dad. Her mother was diabetic, 4 days her sugar levels went normal. Her dad is beginning of Alzheimer's. Can't say his memories got better, but his moods improved tremendously. He had a fall over Christmas, before Christmas. They said he'll be in bed for the whole of Christmas, 3 weeks. 2 days later, he was up. So that whole family life has changed. And her skin has improved dramatically. And when she goes to work, the other people at work say, wow, what are you doing for your skin? So she's got the experience with herself, with her family, and transmitting something that she's very happy about. So now she can tell, for example, I think it's her peluquera, her hairdresser, you're stupid not to do this, because look what it did to me. Look what it did to my mom. And she's not selling anything. And therefore, when you sell, you try and close. When you share, I was at lunch with friends when we were on our trip to Portugal, and they said to me, so you're trying to sell us this? I said, no, I'm not selling you anything. If you decide to buy, you'll be buying it from LifeWave. I'm sharing something with you, which you can take advantage of if you so choose. Anyway, I
love that, George.
Gone on for a bit.
No, I love that. You're so spot on there. It's all about sharing. We're not selling anything. All we are, we've got to keep in mind that we are the messengers, not the message. I was chatting to a person that joined last week, and he sent me a voice note asking where do they harvest the stem cells to put into the patch? And I was like, huh? So I sent him a message back. He wanted to know quite technical information, and I said, right, I can give you the basics. I gave him the basic information, just saying that it's it's nanocrystals organically put between 2 pieces of plastic, right? But I'm not the expert to answer this. And what I did was I sent him the recording of Dr. Schmidt of 20 minutes. So you don't have to explain everything. We are just the messenger, not the message. It's other people that can deliver the message 10 times better than us. And it goes right back to not getting too technical. So, something you got to understand, people are in certain gears. Everybody's in gear at the moment. They're either in first gear, getting going with their day, second gear, they're at work, third gear, they're flying through whatever. Some people are hitting high speed, sitting on 6th gear in the highway, they're in reverse. Everybody's in gear doing something. What I mean, being in gear, you're engaged with something. So you've got to get a person and put them in neutral. You got to put them into neutral first to get them to break the cycle, to break where their minds are at. And only once you get a person into neutral can you then engage with them on a different level. I'll give you an example. 2 weeks ago, I was invited to it's called a Friday Club breakfast. And I was given a short time frame to talk and introduce myself. And I stood up and I said, "Hi, everybody. My name is Chris. I'm 72 years old, and I'm feeling really great for 72. Look how young I am, because I'm using stem cell rejuvenation patches. Now, guys, I'm 48, right? And when I said I'm 72 years old, that broke the ice. People were like, "What?" And everybody started laughing. And I said, "Right, is anybody here that would like to reverse your age by 8 years in a matter of 6 months?" Yes, and I had everybody's attention. They all wanted to know. It was like the most beautiful thing. People were standing in queue wanting more information because, guys, it's something new. And we've got something for everybody. And like George was saying, it goes right back to the stories. I'm going to share with you 2 really cool stories now that I think you can relate to. But the first one is, I'm going to go right to basic level here. You know, we're not here to talk about the basics of building a business. In other words, we can talk here for the next 10 minutes talking about making a name list and contacting people. I mean, this is like elementary basic stuff. We're not going to talk about that. That's pretty basic. You know, just making a list of people who want to contact. I do things a little bit differently at the moment. I go with a thing called synchronicity, and I sort of get guided who to speak to, and I kind of like go with the flow. And I look out for different things to be guided who to speak to. It's called the Silva method. You can Google it. It's called SILVA, Silva method. And this is where it's you resonating with who to speak to. Now, don't forget the patches of frequency. So everything is resonance. I was actually talking to somebody on Monday, and he said that he speaks to his patches as he puts them on. I know it sounds absolutely crazy. He says that as he puts the patch on, he sits quietly for 2 minutes, and he sort of says, "Dear patch, thank you for coming onto my body. Please do the best that you're meant to do for my body." And he understands it because LifeWave is on frequency. So how do you break that ice? The first thing, now I guys want you to listen very carefully to how to open a conversation. I spoke last week when I spoke about how many contacts we have on our devices. People had thousands. 472 is the average worldwide. What do you want to do? You want to get people to ask you about LifeWave, but you don't want to be puking on their heads, kind of going, "I've got this, send them info. People are gonna reject that. You've got to drip feed. So in other words, you've got to give people little bits of information. That's what George did for me. If George sent me 10 messages and 10 videos and 10 PDFs all at once, it would have put me off. He sent me little bits of info at the time, and he was sending me as I was showing a bit more interest. It's like a tennis match, back, forth, back, forth. George hits the ball, I hit the ball. George hits the ball, I hit the ball. And now we're playing a game here with each other. I want a bit more info. George sends me a bit more. I want a bit more. He sends me a bit more. He didn't start here. If he started here, he would have put me off. We both had to start together at this level. And the first thing is connecting with a person. Now listen carefully to what I'm going to say here. We've all got contacts, okay? We know we've all got a different relationship with each person, each contact that we have. We've known them for X amount of time. We might have worked with them. It doesn't really matter. That's irrelevant. When was the last time you spoke to that person? If you haven't spoken to the person within 6 months, guys, do not send them information about LifeWave, about the product. You're going to irritate them. You're going to piss them off. Don't do it. Let me tell you why. Because they're going to think, wow, you don't even have the decency to say, how are you? How are you doing? You haven't contacted me in 6 months, and now you're contacting me because you're trying to sell me something? or you're telling me about something that I'm not interested in, first take the time out. Hey, George, wow, we haven't spoken for a while. How are things going? How's work going? It's been, yes, 6, 7 months we haven't spoken. And you're going to finish off from the last time when you spoke to them. So if you spoke to them 7 months ago, scroll up in your messages. Just have that little bit of respect, because people will know whether you remember what you spoke about. So just scroll up 6 months and see what's happened in that person's life, and just ask them, how are you doing? And you know what? They're going to tell you how they're doing. How's your job? How's your business? How's your kids? Whatever it is that you connected with. And then they'll say, wow, things are very tight at the moment. The price of everything has gone through the roof. Inflation is going through the roof. Or, geez, I've just come back. I've had an operation. Guys, there's so many things. What George said just now, asking people questions. You're respecting a person by asking them questions, because by the answer that they give you is going to give you an idea of what to say to this person. And what I found is, when you ask a person, how are things going? Guess what they're going to ask you? There's a thing called reciprocation. They're going to ask you, how are you doing, Chris? How have you been doing? What are you up to lately? Guess what? Now they've given me permission to tell them what I've been up to the last 6 months. Hey, Chief, as you know, since the last time we spoke, things were tough. I was in a bad place. I was going through a bit of depression. But what I've been up to the last 2 months, because of a very good friend of mine in Spain, introduced me to stem cell rejuvenation technology in the form of a patch. And 9 times out of 10, they go, what? Please tell me more. What is that all about? Now you give them the information, because you've been given permission by that person to send the info. And then you get the ball rolling, and then you see which direction it's going to go from there. And guys, have fun with it. Have a lot of fun. So I'm gonna tell you something that is really, really interesting. Does anybody know who this gentleman is? Yeah, he wrote a book called Awaken the Giant Within. This is Tony Robbins. Okay, this is an old book when he still called himself Anthony, but anyway. Tony Robbins, everybody knows who Tony Robbins is. Now, I said to you just now that I'm going with the flow of the word called synchronicity. You don't know what the word synchronicity means? Google it. People, places, events, all happening in a certain time frame as it's meant to be. There's no such thing as an accident. There's no such thing as coincidence. Everything happens for a reason. Join the dots. Everything in this world is connected. Everything is connected. And this is where we're talking about frequency and timing. Now, what's very interesting is my brother that lives in Cape Town, we see each other maybe twice a year. He actually landed this afternoon, and he's flying to Dubai tomorrow morning. He's immigrating to Dubai. And it's quite interesting that I'm on the Zoom tonight, and my brother is lying in front of me. He's lying on the bed. Hey, Wes. So what happened was, let me tell you, when we're talking about, you don't talk to a person today and they join tomorrow. It takes a bit of time. Yes, I signed up 3 people this week, but I didn't talk to them last week or the week before or the week before. I spoke to these people end of last year, guys. I was planting the seed. It takes 5 to 7, even up to 8 contacts before a person says yes. You're not going to talk today. It's all about planting seeds. So have a look at it as if you've got a bag of seeds, okay? They're all different colors. Some are big seeds, some are brown, some are green, some are yellow, some are weird shaped, some are round, some are whatever. You got a bag full of seeds, and you've got 100 different seeds. You don't know what seeds you have in your hand, unless you're a farmer. But I'm talking about just the general person. I don't know the difference between a watermelon seed and an apricot seed. A seed is a seed to me. Put them in a packet, and you're going to throw them into the ground. Okay, the ground is nice and fertile, the soil is ready to accept these seeds. And you don't know which seed is going to grow when. A lettuce. You plant that seed, you can pick the lettuce and eat it after 2 weeks. But did you know that an avocado tree takes something like 2 years before it sprouts? So it just shows each seed germinates at a different time. So look at the people that you're contacting and you put them in a bag of seeds. And all your job to do is to water those seeds. That's all it is. Little bits of information. So I went a bit off track there. So my brother Wes, end of last year, comes to visit. And I've just got involved with LifeWave. So I'm all excited. I'm telling my brother all about it. I think, let's see, I got my patches 24th of November. So it was probably the second week in December. My brother came and stayed with us for 2 days. So we were sitting outside chatting, and Wes said to me, Chris, did you know that Tony Robbins wrote a new book and he launched it this year? That was last year. I said, no, I didn't know that. What's it called? So Wes said, I can't remember. Let's Google it. So Wes Googles it. Tony Robbins launched his book last year called, take a guess, Life Force. How's that for synchronicity? Life Force. So we're busy looking at it, we're Googling it, we're checking out the book, and you're not going to believe this, guys. Chapter 2 of Tony Robbins' book is all about stem cells, all about stem cell technology. Chapter 2 on Tony Robbins, an international trainer, speaker, author, is talking about stem cells. So I thought that is pretty interesting. Wow, if Tony Robbins is talking about this, we're onto something here. We got it in a patch. So long story short, let me tell you what happens. So a week after that, I go and see a friend of mine, Stephen. So Stephen, him and I, we've been involved in different businesses over the last couple of years. I've known Stephen for about 10 years, very, very good friend of mine. So I go and have a cup of coffee with Stephen. I want to tell him about LifeWave, right? So off we go and have coffee and we're chatting. And he said, Chris, what are you up to now? And I said, check this out. And I took the patch out. I said, look at this. He goes, what's that? I said, this is stem cell rejuvenation in a patch. This is going to de-age you. And he just like looked at me. I said, energy. Don't you want more energy? No, I've got enough energy. You don't want to de-age? No, I'm happy. I feel fine. I'm like, oh, okay. So I gave him the patch to kind of like give it to him to hold. He didn't even want to touch it. And I thought, okay, guys, you talk about rejection, like in your face. Stephen didn't even want to touch my patch. He didn't even want to touch it. I thought, hey, what have I said wrong here? So I said, come on, Stephen, wouldn't you like to de-age by 8 years? We'll kick off 8 years of your life. And he says to me, Chris, and this is where I laughed. He said, the way you're going at the moment, next time we come out for breakfast here in 3 years' time, you're ordering off the kiddies menu. So much you're going to de-age. But the funny thing is, Stephen wasn't interested. He didn't show any interest whatsoever. I got home and my girlfriend said to me, how was your coffee with Stephen? I'm like, he rejected me. He said like no, like as in total no. I thought, wow, that is very strange. So I just left it. I didn't take it personally. I did feel a little bit bruised, but I didn't take it personally. I thought, okay, let me just leave it here. Guys, listen to this. Listen to this. Stephen, for Christmas, got given the book Life Force as a Christmas present. Stephen sends me a picture 3 weeks ago of the book. He says, check this out, Chris. I said, you've just read chapter 2, haven't you? He said, how do I join and get involved with those patches you told me about last year? Stephen joined that same day. Stephen joined that same day. So Stephen didn't listen to what Chris had to say. But because Tony Robbins said something about stem cells, Stephen said, I'm ready to get involved. But guess what, guys? It wouldn't have meant anything had I not spoken to Stephen 2-3 weeks earlier, because all I did was planted the seed. Tony Robbins, that I don't know from a bar of soap, he did the closing job for me. He did the closing job for me. So I'm going to send an email to Tony Robbins saying, thank you, you're paving the way. All we're doing is planting the seeds, because it might take somebody else to give that little bit of extra info without saying, hang on, we've seen this before, we've heard about this before somewhere. And that's all we're doing is planting seeds. I'm going to go one step further with Tony Robbins. I'm going to say thank you to him twice, actually. Another friend of mine, Brett, he sent me a message on Messenger, also about 3 weeks ago. Now, Brett signed up 2 days ago. You'll see if I put a person, Brett, on the group. But I've spoken to him 8 times before he joined yesterday, or the day before. How did that conversation get started? Brett sent a message. I was involved with Brett, having spoken to him 3 years ago, 4 years ago. We were doing involved in a different crypto platform. A lot of people lost a lot of money, and he just wanted to get a whole lot of people together that he knew, kind of like just teaching people and saying, guys, let's have a discussion and let's help people not to get scammed from crypto point of view. So I said, that's pretty cool. I was on a Zoom call 2 weeks ago with him just to listen to what he had to say. But guess what he did? He sent me, just before that, he sent me information on a seminar that Tony Robbins was doing. And I sent him a picture, the same picture that Stephen sent me of the book, and said, hey, guess what? Did you know that Tony Robbins is talking about stem cells? He says, why is that so interesting? And I said, I've got stem cell technology in the form of a patch. He goes, what? Please send me more info. So we left it at that. Then we did a voice call, did another voice call, did another voice call. I think it was on the 4th call, Brett said to me, Chris, you know what? My wife fell off a horse 3 years ago, and she went for stem cell injections, which haven't been very effective. And I said, wow, we need to get this product to your wife ASAP. So that's what happened 2 days ago. Brett joined, he signed up, and he wants to get his wife onto it. Hopefully his stock's going to arrive either tomorrow or Monday. But can you see how I didn't sell anything to anybody? I wasn't pushy to anybody. All I did was just went with the flow. And I think that's where George and we've got a lot to share with everybody, because you know, I don't put pressure on anybody ever at all. I just share experiences and stories, and like George was saying, you know, when I joined, I didn't have a story yet. I didn't have anything to say about myself. I didn't use the product. The product's on the way. I started patching myself. I didn't get a result in the first couple of days. So I was thinking, what do I tell people? I don't know what to say. I just listened to what George said. And then obviously I started getting a bit of a result. My energy levels only kicked in after a month. But you guys have heard the story about my mom. What X39 has done for my mom. It's turned her life around. So guess what? I now have my own story in the form of my mom. And then I say, when people say, but I don't know what to say to people. Well, tell the story of my mom. Tell the story of George. There's enough testimonies that are coming onto our group lately. My word, there's no shortage of testimonies. And that's all it is, because
that's true. We had a lady who was in Spanish saying, this is a scam, it's a pyramid, it's a this, it's a that, and I've got fibromyalgia. So I said, I translated Chris's mother's story for her and sent that to her. I told the person who and she went online and tried to find bad things about LifeWave, and the person who invited her was very disturbed because this person was right at the beginning. And I said, let's see if we can turn this woman into the best ambassador for LifeWave. So I sent the testimonial. I said, please have a conversation, maybe, because everybody connects with different people. And in our Spanish group, we have Davo, who worked in medical laboratories, and he had the language that I knew would reach through to her. And like 5 days later, she gets in touch because she decided to try a bronze pack. Her voice is like silk, and now she's a gold pack. She went out, she upgraded 2 days ago to gold, and she wants to do this, wants to do LifeWave. And let's see if you never know with people. I always say there's not so queer as folk. Listen, by the way, for your brother, we don't know what happened with him as far as LifeWave is concerned so far, but in the United Arab Emirates, you can get LifeWave products delivered. So just so that you know that.
You hear that, Wes?
Just so that you know that. And there's one other thing I would like to say, because you talked about crypto. So what I discovered, there's all sorts of networks in the world, and there's a lot of crypto networks, and crypto reaches about 15 to 20% of the world, maybe in the developed countries less, and the countries like South Africa maybe a bit more, but it doesn't reach the huge part of the population. And then the sacred economies that people talk about, that also it reaches probably 5% of the population. Everybody else thinks it's completely insane. Health reaches 80% of the people. I've had so many people say to me, that's interesting, send me some information. People who would never say, I'm not interested, would be just, don't talk to me about crypto, don't talk to me about anything else, sacred economies like madness, don't talk to me about that. Health, they're all saying, oh, send me some information. And that is also very, very interesting.
I can echo on that, George, definitely.
And the other thing that Birgit was saying today, we have LifeWave. In other companies, you had to do so much work to get not so much money, really a lot of work. But here you can see money coming in rather quickly at the beginning. I think their structure is so well designed.
I'm blown away, George. I'm absolutely blown away to think that 60% of the turnover money generated goes back into the hands of the people. Now, I think that is the most fair system I've ever seen in my life. It's it's so funny when you mentioned the word pyramid. When I hear that, I think to myself, my goodness, have you been living under a rock for the last 2 decades? What is wrong with you? How can you even bring the word pyramid into the equation here? I mean, come on, network marketing has been around for 80 years now. 80 years. It's a beautiful, beautiful, fair industry. And, network marketing has made more millionaires. Listen to this. Network marketing has made more millionaires than any other industry in the world. And that is fact. And don't hear me wrong when I say this. When I say the nice thing about tough times in an economy, I don't mean the word nice. I'm saying it in a different way. What I mean is nice in the way of people start to become a little bit more open to the network marketing industry, because they've, especially now after COVID, after the pandemic, everybody's starting to understand now that there's no such thing as job security. At the end of the day, people are realizing that it was just a number, that you can be replaced like that. And people are also starting to realize that there's nobody that's going to come and save you. There's no safety net that is going to come save you. And people need to start to realize that you need to start taking responsibility for looking after yourself. And in network marketing, you are in business for yourself, but not by yourself, which is the most amazing thing, because here you're going to get the training, the support, the tools. And here we all help each other, which is the most amazing thing I've ever seen. I've never had this type of help and support before in a network marketing structure. I saw Harvey.
Javi's just come in. I'm going to make co-host. Start your video, Javi. We want to see you. And we should also have asked people if they got any questions about deepening into this topic. Hey, man, How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Welcome.
Thank you.
We've
Me.
been talking about stories, telling stories about stories.
Well, this business is all about telling stories, you know, and stories captivate, stories magnetize, you know, everyone here is going to develop a story. I have mine, George has his, Chris has his, Lisa has hers, Birgit has hers, Maya's about to have hers. And it's the stories that actually get people to want to see why you're so excited. You just can't come up to somebody and say, hey, I got something to show you. People want to know why, right? People want to know why you're doing this. Why am I doing this? You guys know very well why I'm doing this. And that's why people are going to magnetize to what you're doing. I call it the mission statement. What's your mission statement? And that's when I tell people, when I enroll them, I don't want you to join LifeWave. LifeWave is just a brand. It's just a name. I want you to join Javi and his mission. I want you to join George. I want you to join Chris, on our mission statement, what we're building here. People want to be a part of something that's bigger than themselves, right? And it's a wonderful thing, this business, because it doesn't motivate, it inspires. I think motivation is garbage, because you get motivated to go to the gym, but you get inspired because it's inspirations of the soul, motivations of the surface, inspirations of the soul. Why? I get inspired every day to pat somebody, right? I don't get inspired every day to cycle. That's boring, or in other words, bullshit. I get inspired every day to pat somebody. I get inspired every day to show someone how to cycle by patching somebody. That's what excites me. And to hear stories like Birgit's story and Lisa's story, and this chat that goes crazy with testimonials. That's why I wake up every day, and I'm not going to spread my belief on everybody. I do believe in God, and I respect wherever they're at. But I wake up every day and I ask him, I say, you know what, lead me to someone new who I can inspire today to be a better version of themselves. Before my feet touch the ground, be a better version of me. Because in reality, people are depending on us to share them with this product, because it's a secret that's been so quiet for so long. And I always put in my path who you want me to inspire to be a better version of themselves. So when all this started, he put me in front of George. And George went in front of this person, and they ended up in front of Lisa, and they ended up in front of Birgit, and they ended up in front of this one. And then it was just like a ripple into the water, and now this tsunami is forming. That's why we do this. That's why we do this. It's not about the money, it's about the purpose. And this money comes with the purpose. If you put money first, you're gonna die real quick. I can guarantee you, anything that I love, it's gonna die. So that's why I have so much passion in this. And that's why I put so much effort in this, because I enjoy every person here winning. I do. I truly do. I don't sleep much. I think sleep is overrated, but sometimes I work myself to fumes, so I have to force myself to sleep, and I'm on calls all the time because I know the mission of this, and I know the effort that it takes. And there's this saying, if you do the things that are easy, your life is going to be hard. But if you do the things that are hard, your life is going to be easy. Choose your hard, I choose my hard. I'd rather work hard and live easy. I don't know about you, but there's no shortcuts. There's no shortcuts when it comes to business. There's no shortcuts to success. How many Zooms have we been on here? Not only has been an inspiration, but it's been fun. We've developed a relationship here with everybody. I really can't wait to see everybody in person, to tell you the truth. I'm more of a belly to belly guy. They came up with the Zoom thing, so we have to pivot like leaders, and pivot and just adjust to what's going on. But it's okay. We got to do what we got to do, right? But it's all about the stories. People want to know why, right? And you notice when George starts talking, he starts why. When Chris starts talking, he says why. Because, and I'll end it with this. When people come to see you speak, they ask themselves three things. Who are you? What do you have to offer? And why should I care? Who are you? What do you have to offer? And why should I care?
Yeah, or what's it to me?
Right.
What I say all the time when people are telling me stuff, or when they're telling me about project, and I'm putting them myself in the mind of somebody else who's going to go, yeah, but what's it to me? So what?
Yeah. What is it for me? Because in reality, no one gives a damn how much money you're making. No one cares how many people you have under you. They care how can you show them how to do it. Show me how to do it. I don't care how much money you make. Good for you. How can I get there? Great. Go manager for starters. You know, I'm going to get a t-shirt. I might even trademark it. Go manager. You know, people want to know, what's the trick? Oh my God, what's the trick? You ready? Go manager. Let's start there. Go manager. And then we could work on the next step. You know, people overcomplicate. And one thing about this team, they simplify everything. And that's why I love it. They simplify everything. And that's why people come here, because it's so simple and it's so cool and it's so short. And there's no hype. It's nothing but passion and purpose. That's what I got to say.
Passion and purpose, my brother.
We have to also add that Javi's doing a training on momentum on Saturday at 7 p.m. Spanish, 8 p.m. South Africa time. So 1 p.m. New York time. Okay,
just how to create momentum in your business.
Because
it's going to take effort, but I'm going to show you what should. And listen, at the end of the day, is your business. It's Chris's business. It's Lisa's business. You know, it's Pastor Luxon's business. You go as fast as you want to go. Okay. And the reality, there's people who are going to give you 30%, 60%, 90%, and 120%. And we love people where they're at. Okay. I choose to give 120%. That's just who Javi is. That's how I'm wired. If you don't do, if I'm all in, you know, and some people are not all in, and it's okay. We love people where they're at. It's not a problem, you know.
But there is an art to learning not to push people.
Right.
Learning. And Javi said to me something very obvious. And I was like, just find out what people want. So on the calls, I'm saying, who wants to be manager? And the people who put their hand up are the people I'm talking to. The people who don't, well, let's try it now. Let me put a gallery view. Let me put a gallery view.
Wilson, my brother, you got your hand up.
And who wants to be manager? If you want to be manager, put your hand up.
There you go, Wilson.
Hey guys. How you doing?
Now we know Adrian wants to be, Lisa wants to be, Maya, Beverly, and so on. And well, Beverly's already a manager, but that's another thing. Okay, so
and Wilson wants to chat. Let Wilson talk.
So yeah. I just wanted to bring a little training element to this chat. I did something this week that made a big difference in my business. If you can just allow me to share my screen quickly.
Please.
I just want to show people
let me
something.
Make you co-host, just a minute. I got to click here.
I just want to do it live because I haven't done it yet today. And then you guys can just see a strategy how to do attraction marketing and get people to contact you rather than trying to break the ice with someone. So that's something that I like doing. It takes consistency, doesn't happen overnight, but I just want to show you guys what I do there, and you can do it every day, every 24 hours. And it's just a way to generate free leads over time. So I've tried this 4 times and I've had 3 meetings to give you an idea, and 2 other people are already coming on board. So can I share my screen there?
Please. I made you co-host, I think.
Yes. Okay, beautiful.
Put your camera on. We want to see you, my brother. We want to see you.
Buddy, I'm standing outside. There's no light here, so I can try and see if you guys can see me. Give me a second.
Okay.
No, a whole bunch of things. Let me just quickly show you. So the first thing that I do, I go to WhatsApp. So this is what your WhatsApp looks like. Now, the other night on the call, we were like, there were people with 10,000 numbers on their phone. So one of the things you can do, you click on status. It's in the middle of your screen there. At the top, you see chats and you see status. You click on status and you can now add a status. So let me quickly do that. I'm going to hit the little plus sign that says status. Let's hit the plus sign there. Boom. So now it's going to open up photos. So I just need to find the right one. Let me just open up the gallery. I created a folder. There we go, LifeWave stories. So what I do is I post this photo. That's now the first photo. I do this little photo of the inflammation. You see there where it says add caption? There's a little plus sign. You click on it. And now you can add more photos. So what I normally do is I make sure that people see it's a sticker. Then I will do before and after. I will maybe do 3 before and afters. I'll do the LifeWave actual post, and I'll just say, you see the little right tick that you see in the bottom right-hand corner. It's now selected the photos, and you click send. And boom, there's all the photos there. You've created a little story. You click send again, bottom right corner, and that's your status for 24 hours. And what this does is people will see your status and people ask me, will this work for this or will this work for that? Now that's on WhatsApp. We can do exactly
hang on, just a second. So I'm looking at your phone. If I go to you in my WhatsApp and I go and look at you, I'm going to see that now?
You're going to see that now, yes.
Let me do this so that everybody understands it, and I want to understand it myself. So I love this stuff. So hang on, I'm a one-finger typer, and I typed you wrong. I got to look at the screen. There you go. All right. So now I'm not. Where am I seeing that?
Okay, so you've got my name.
Yeah.
You click on my name, click on it. Yeah. And then there's an option there to click on my, you'll see I've got a little, I've got photos around my logo. You just click on it and it's going to show you the status. And that's what it looks like.
Interesting. Don't see it yet, but view profile photo. I do use WhatsApp.me followed by a phone number on a redirect link, but that's something else. But I'm not getting this quite. Maybe it's
what you can do is when you're in WhatsApp, you can click on status. So in WhatsApp at the top you see chats and then you see status. If you click on status, then you can see all the statuses of all your contacts. And it's actually amazing. You click on these things and you can see what they're doing, and that's in already. Oh, wow. So you can, a lot of people are doing different things, and you can just engage with them with what they're doing and then open the door. So yeah, this is a really powerful trick. It's something you can do every 24 hours. And let's quickly go do this in Facebook as well. So let's stop right here. We're going to do the duplication in Facebook because I just want it on the recording so it's snappy because I want to edit it. Okay. So let's quickly go into Facebook and then we can handle questions. So Facebook, exactly the same thing. Here's my Facebook app. As you see your Facebook app, you see create story. And I'm going to click on create story. Boom. It opens up the story. So now you can add photos. So you can see I've already added those. So they're all there. There's an option there in the middle of the screen that says create select multiple. You guys see that? Mm-hmm. Yeah. You click on select multiple, and then I do the same thing. I do the inflammation one first, the sticker, some before and after pics, and that one. And maybe a motivation, or there's another picture that I use, DM me for details. You say separate, bottom right corner, bottom left corner, it says separate stories because you don't want it in a collage. You guys see that? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, you click on separate stories and then boom, it's created the same story that we did on WhatsApp on your Facebook. And then you just click share, boom. Wow. And this is a way to very, very quickly, within literally 2 minutes of just posting a couple before and after pics, not go look for people And I love everything you guys have said, but let's use this technology. It's completely free. You can set up a Twitter account. You can set up a TikTok account. TikTok is only videos, just know that. And any videos you could share there. All of these platforms are free. In Instagram, it's also stories. You can post reels with photos. There's all sorts of things you can do there, all free. So yeah, there's a couple things we can do very quickly to get people to contact us. And I just wanted to just add some value there.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Really appreciate. Maybe one day I'll ask you to come on our Spanish call and show that.
Yes, you know, the great way for people, I mean, I know there's people on the call that has 7,000 contacts on their WhatsApp. And, you know, if you post a story consistently, what I see happens is after you've posted a couple times, people start hitting you up. And they're like, I know somebody that is either hurt or my mom needs it, or, and it needs to be done consistently. It's not something that you do at once and then it needs to be like, you can do it every 24 hours. So yeah, the more you do it, the more people take you seriously. And yeah, great free way to generate traffic for people hitting you up.
Thanks for that, my
That's
brother.
great.
That is
Thank
Can I
you.
just say something? Wilson, thank you very much for that. Was that a WhatsApp business? Was that WhatsApp business that you were using?
Yes, I am using WhatsApp Business. I haven't got the paid version yet, but I like it because I can put my working hours in there. I can put a website link in there. So I've moved over to WhatsApp Business, but the two look very similar. So these statuses, you just click on status where it says messages.
And on the iPhone, the status is at the bottom, not at the top. That's why I couldn't find it.
Yeah, you must just find the status. And this is a completely free way to get people to contact you. You know, in one day, I got 2 meetings just off my Facebook ad, and start playing around with it. Post at different times of the day, because I've had great responses sometimes in the morning, sometimes have even better responses. Play with it, you know, see where you get the most views, because that's what we're after. The actual ad is only up for 24 hours and you want to get 100 people looking at it. Then you know you've posted it at the right time of the day, depending on, of course, how many people you have on your phone. So yeah, just wanted to share that with you guys, and definitely use that trick and find more before and after pics and just share that, and people will start contacting you.
Thanks for that, my brother. Thank you. That's what I love about this community when we talk about being in business for yourself, but not by yourself. This is exactly what we're talking about. Wilson and I, we see each other at least every 2 weeks. We're about an hour away from each other, and we take pictures. We take pictures of ourselves holding the patches, and we've started getting a lot of people in the community to come together, and I post all that information, and everybody that's there, I tag everybody. Last week was a friend of mine, David, Christina, Wilson was there, and just on what I post on Facebook saying we're patching the world, making a difference in this world. Do you know how many people have sent me messages on Messenger? Just because of my Facebook posts, I've probably sent to about 15 people already. 15 people, 2 people have joined. 3 people have joined already. And I've got a lot of seeds that are busy getting planted right now. And that's not trying to sell anything to anybody. All it is just sharing what you're doing in your day-to-day life. That's all we're doing. It's just sharing. And George, you know, we're so on the same page there with just basically just telling stories. That's all it is. And like I said right in the beginning of this call, I'm so grateful that LifeWave is a #1 product that works. There's enough testimonies to show us that the product works, and there's product driven, and you got to let the patch do the work for you. So I've got a lot of people that have joined already, and I was chatting to Kavi 2 days ago, and he said to me, who are we going to contact, and we're going to have a chat to them and talk about getting them to manager. It's the most important thing. And I said to Kavi, some of these people are still a week and a half in, 2 weeks in. And that's what Harvey said to me. He said, let the patch do the magic. Don't put pressure on yet. Let the patch do the magic. And that normally happens in about 21 days. And once a person starts getting a result from the patches, it starts to come from within, because we're healing each other from the inside out. And you're just going to project the right frequency out there. That's what's going to start happening naturally. You've also heard Dr. David Schmidt talk about, the 90-day protocol, which is so important. And that's what we must never give people any false expectations, guys. That is so important. Don't ever say, put this patch on in the morning, and by tomorrow night you're going to be climbing Mount Everest. You got to be careful about putting false expectations out there. You got to be clear right from the beginning. I thought I'd just mention that. And also, like I said last night on the calls, guys, don't forget to drink a lot of water. That is so important. You guys reading up on it. One of the biggest reasons why a person might not get the reaction on the patches as quick as other people is because of dehydration. You've got to really drink a lot of water when you're on the patches. I thought I'd reiterate that again tonight.
So look, we've been on here for a while now. Has anybody got something they want to share, ask, talk about? Anything also practical side about the back office, so on and so forth?
No, I think tonight we covered just having a nice talk about chatting to people and how to open it up. I really hope that I've been able to share something that people can take something and start implementing straight away tonight. I know I learned a lot from George all the time. And watch the group in the next couple of days. I've got something very exciting I've been working on flat out the last 2 weeks that I'll be sharing on the group. So I'm not going to let any cats out the bag at all. You guys just wait. I've got something very exciting to share with everybody in the next day or two. So just watch the groups. Ingi and then Desiree.
Yeah.
Hi there, everybody. I
Hey.
just wanted to ask a question. If you do leave the patch on too long, what do you do then? Leave it off for longer before you put another one on?
So it happens to me that I sometimes wake up in the morning, I go, oops, I forgot to take it off. So I wait till the next day myself. So, or for example, I put some 2 patches on last night. I used some patches in the day, some patches at night. And I was like, I came in and I went, whoops, I ran around all day and came in, I forgot to take them off this morning.
While you're coughing, let me tell you what I did, because I left a patch on too long. So the following day, I didn't put a patch on. I have trigeminal neuralgia. It's true as God, the next morning I woke up and I had an attack because I hadn't put the patch on, maybe. I don't know. So I'm nervous to leave it off too long.
Well,
you know?
Look, you know your body.
Mm.
You know your body, and probably more than other people, you need to have an alarm on your alarm clock. Something like
maybe.
So to make sure you take it off at night. Or put it in the bathroom, or the pack in the bathroom, or put a sign on the bathroom mirror, take off your pack. So you can,
Yes.
So you can,
well, what I did when I started wearing them, I put them on at night, and then I couldn't go to sleep. So I'd end up going to bed at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I need to work during the day. So I'd wake up and be so tired because I just couldn't sleep. So now I'm trying to change that rhythm, and it's difficult. So I've got to hit the right rhythm here.
Well, you kind of probably have to force yourself now to have. What time do you normally wake up?
Well, now when I go to sleep at 6, I wake up at 11. But I want to change my sleep schedule now. So I suppose I'm going to have to go a day without the patch.
Yeah.
You change the schedule. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, on that day, then I will just have to lie still and not move.
Let me ask you a question. What sleep schedule do you want to have?
I want to wake up earlier in the day so that I have more of the day to work.
So you want to wake up at what time? 7 in the morning, 8 in the morning?
Yeah, around about 7, yeah. That would be good.
So then just remember, soon as you brush your teeth, put the patch on.
Yeah.
Or if you shower first, put the patch on and then put an alarm to remember to take it off. So
Yes.
then you definitely put the patch on.
Well, that's why I've got a patch on now. I put it on at 11 when I got up this morning. So I'm going to take it off at 11 now.
Well, then
then
if you manage to sleep till 7 or 8 tomorrow morning, then I would
wake up.
12 hours, but I put it on then.
Put it on there.
And it's okay if I put it on too soon. That won't be a full 12 hours.
No, that's just a guideline. That's just a guideline.
You have a personal issue where you want to change your rhythm. So it's not going to mess you up if you do one day where it's 8 hours instead of 12. I mean, because you'll get you need, for you, it's more important to get that rhythm going in yourself than other considerations. So in that sense, okay, so it's only 8 hours gap between, maybe take off this one like an hour before you normally would. If you have taken it off, but then just start. It's like when I do, I mean, I know this is different, but when I do, I'm jet lagged, or as a friend of mine used to call it, jet mad. When I just force myself into the new rhythm and don't, and it's always okay, a little bit of a thing, but
it's a bit difficult, yeah.
And I've always heard flying from Europe, South Africa, there's no jet lag. I find it hard to explain that one.
Changing the time zones.
There's only 1 hour.
The time zones. Yeah.
I also want to share something else that happened, because I started having an attack one day and I'd already taken off my patch. So I put on the ice patch and it didn't help me. And I thought, to hell with this. I broke open another X49, put it on my neck, 10 minutes and the pain was gone.
So you have a special case. You know, we all have different bodies, different issues, but your pain is such that you have to do what works for you.
Yeah, and it's due to inflammation. So that's probably why the X39 is best.
But I do believe that as time goes by, and you will have to tell us in 6 months or a year, I do believe as time goes by, it will get easier.
Yes, I think so too. Well, that's my big problem, is literally up until I started taking these patches, I couldn't pick up anything that weighed more than 5 or 8 kilos and I'd have an attack. And now I feel so great that I actually forget that I've got trigeminal neuralgia. And that happened to me. And I went and I picked up 4 15 kg bags, carried them into my car, put them in the boot, got home, lugged them out of the boot, got into the house. And that night I started having an attack. But I immediately put the LifeWave patch on. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, the attack was gone. So the attacks were lasting a lot shorter if they happen. And generally they only happen when I'm bad and I do something that I know I shouldn't do, but I can't remember that I shouldn't do it anymore.
Let me ask you a question.
Feeling so good.
Let me ask you a question. You know, I don't know if this applies, but I have had very severe urticaria, like hives, when I was young. And what I had to do was, like, I know an attack's coming, but I had to in my head not give it any attention and sort of let it go through me without attaching myself to it. And if people would say, "What's wrong with you?" I would say, "Please, no, just leave me alone. Don't talk to me now. Talk later." So I'd have to kind of accept it, but not give it any energy, so that it would sort of.
I hear what you're saying, and I've actually got a very high pain threshold. But trigeminal neuralgia doesn't quite work like that, because when I start having an attack, the nerve pinches literally. And even though all my teeth have been removed, all but 6 of them, I get toothache where I have no teeth.
Oh,
This
bless.
is not a pain. I'm very good with this. I can regulate with my breathing. I understand how pain works. And please don't think this is disgusting, but one way that I could control the pain coming with an attack was through clitoral stimulation. By creating a sensation at an opposite end of my body, I could actually distract my brain. So I understand how that works. And yeah, deep breathing. I put on the patch, I breathe, I stand up, I walk to the kitchen, I get something to drink, and generally I can get rid of it very quickly. I've basically managed my trigeminal neuralgia for the last 30 years just on cannabis, medical cannabis, which I've now stopped using because I'm using the LifeWave.
I got to say to you, your story from the first time I heard it has been really quite astounding and wonderful story to hear.
And it is, because, you know, there's no cure for it. And I'm preparing a bit of a testimonial, but I want to put in a video about trigeminal neuralgia. 7th of October has been declared Trigeminal Neuralgia Day because nobody knows about it. And in fact, Chicago Med, a TV series, they often do one of their programs and they'll handle one of the illnesses. And a couple of weeks ago, they did one on trigeminal neuralgia. They call it the suicide disease because a lot of people in the first year that they have it commit suicide. The pain is unbearable, let me tell you. I have woken up every morning for the last year sobbing for the first 10 minutes that I wake up. And it's awful because by crying, and there's nothing I can do other than cry, because if I wake up too late and the attack has already started and got a grip on me, then I can do nothing about it. I've got to lie down and ride it out. If I'm awake and I feel the attack starting to come, I can stop it, literally dead in its tracks. But then I've got to be awake to do it. And that's one of the reasons that my sleep patterns are so messed up, because I was, up until LifeWave, wearing a full-on neck brace. I've got a hard brace and a soft brace. So the soft brace I would wear while I was working, and the hard brace I had to wear when I went to sleep, because that's when you're not aware of how you move your head. And a slight movement can start an attack. If I walk outside and the sun is too bright, it can start an attack. If I walk outside and the wind blows against my face, it can start an attack. If I turn my head to the side too quickly, it can start an attack. So literally you can't move. So I have to force myself to get into bed at night, worrying that how I'm going to wake up. You know, I don't worry. I'm not one who worries, but I'm saying that
No,
thought
you sound
is
like
there.
an immensely strong person, that's for sure. You know, Inge, I was going to now ask you, because I know you were concerned about your parcel arriving. Are you going to?
I got it. Yes, thank you. And it's nearly all gone. Because a friend of mine phoned me and she saw my status and she said, "What is this stuff?" And I said, "It's amazing, girl. It's helped me." She said, "If it's helped you, I want to see what this is." I said, "I'll send you 5 patches. Try them." Because now she makes all her own face products, everything natural, totally into natural living. And she said to me, no, I can't just use 5. Tell you what, have you ordered? I said, yes, I have. I'm waiting for my order to arrive. She said, work out what half of it will cost. Let me pay you, send me half of your pack. So I sold her half my pack, and I've done that and said, if this works for me, I'm in big time. And then I want to look at buying in as a business. So I've got to hurry my ass on up and upgrade before she goes and does. Yeah.
So, but look, I'm sure you've thought of that, but I think you need to always have 2 packs of sleeves at home in reserve.
For myself. Yeah.
Emergency.
Well, do you know what? I want to use a combo, so I'm actually going to upgrade probably tomorrow to go to gold. And I can't wait to get higher because I want the Aeon, I want the carnosine, I want the glutathione.
So do you know, are you aware that you can configure
Yes,
the
that I
order?
can swap out one of the
Yeah.
packs for.
So the
Yeah.
line at the bottom of the page, you just need it to be in green.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I am, but at this point, I need the X39s because I want to give it to everybody,
Oh, okay, but
and I don't want to get them confused with all the others.
I understand
Well,
that.
today off my WhatsApp status, because I put a couple of pictures, and and one of the girls that saw it messaged me and said, "What is this all about?" I said, "I'll send you a brief info." So I sent her the Start X39 page, and she phoned me up and she said, "Listen, I want to buy this." She's just got bad skin. She said, "I will use it for myself. Where can I buy it?" I said, "I can give you a pack right now." Or there's my phone going.
Or is it Ingy's phone ringing? Oh, the phone went. Need a battery. Well, I tell you what, Ingy, what such an inspiration, such an inspiration. I met Ingy 2 years. Yeah, she was two years ago, and both myself and Wilson, we know what Ingy's talking about when she talks about the pain she's been through, and you know, exactly like my mom, where there's also a myalgia. Funny enough, my mom fibromyalgia, and I just look at the amazing results that she's got. So guys, it's amazing what this product is doing. Absolutely amazing.
Desiree wanted to say something, but you put your hand up.
She had her hand up and now hands down. So I think let's let Desiree talk, and then I think let's call it let's call it a night, because my back teeth are floating right now. I need to go to the toilet just now, so if we can hurry quickly because I'm going to wee my pants.
There she is, Desiree. I think that might have been too much information. Yes.
Thanks for sharing that with us there, Chris. Okay, I just wanted to say that I've had a few work sessions in the last 2 days with and somebody's on this this session tonight. But what has come out of it is that we've taken network marketing and put it on its ear. The fact is that we're not selling, we're telling. And I think that as a logo would be good for us, because what we're doing is we're caring, sharing, and supporting. And I think that is where I'm going, rather than how you can replace your own product by recruiting. I think it's much better. It resonates with me and resonates with the other work I do, because I do a lot of other alternate healing. So I just wanted to share that with you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Desiree. Thank you. I like what you said there, turning it upside down. And
but it is because your other network marketing companies, they tell people, forget about the products, talk about the opportunity. And that was what bored me to tears in the early 2000s. And I walked away from it. And like, I was never going, Birgit here, she said she wasn't going to do any network marketing again. I'd said that. Javi was more or less with the same thing. He said, I had my foot out of the door, even though he did really well. But this is a different story. It's such a different story, because this X39 is a miracle. It's like, and if anybody who's watched David Schmidt speaking, he's such a special person. He's a scientist, but he's also very, very, I'm really looking forward to meeting him one day, as soon as possible, as far as I'm concerned.
No, me too.
Thank you.
Me too. No, we're in a very exciting place. Right time, right place, right product. And I think the most important thing is, in finishing off, which is something that George, when he sent me one of the initial voice notes, he said, Chris, one of the biggest things that's got my attention, we spoke about the stability, but that it's not a Me Too company. So in traditional network marketing, in the retail space, everybody's competing for a piece of the pie. So in other words, my powder is better than your powder because mine's got this, yours hasn't got that, or my pill's better than your pill. We are in a league of our own. We're in a league of our own because we've got a patent. Nobody can copy what we're doing. I don't think anybody realizes how powerful that is to have, number one, a product that works in a beautiful network marketing structure with no competition.
And also unknown product.
And a
unknown product.
Unknown product, but that's it. Exactly.
Mike Hernandez was saying on a call the other day, you know, we reach out to people who've been in network marketing for ages. They'd never heard of LifeWave. You know, that's the difference.
Sorry, George, can I just mention something that Ingi was saying, that she needs to change her pattern? Would the sleep patch not help at night, and then the stem cell X39 during the day? Wouldn't that help with her?
You can only try. Like I said, everybody's body is different.
Yeah, but I was just thinking of the resonance, the vibration, because the sleep one would affect a different hormone, which might be good for her.
But again, you're right, but you can only try. I mean,
yes, exactly.
That's what I would definitely myself. I would definitely try.
Maybe Desiree, send Ingi a message, and maybe you can recommend that to him. Maybe on the
I would actually agree with her, because the healing happens while we sleep. So if we can help her to sleep better, then when she puts the X39 on in the morning, there won't be an attack, and if there's one, she can stop it. And then when she sleeps, she's going to sleep deeper and then have more healing. So maybe it will help. So we can only try.
In the list that I put, that's in the group, that I'm not sure who put it there. I think Christina, and I've been putting it a couple of times, reposting.
Well, guys, I just wanted to say hi and bye. I'm sorry I'm interrupting.
Thank you
but
so much.
I wanted to say thanks so much. I've really, you know, from both of you and everybody else's participation, but honestly, I love what you said, stem cell rejuvenation technology in the form of a patch, because I've got, as you said, Chris, I've spoken to quite a lot of people that are starting to get back to me now. One of my dear friends is Helen and I are sorting out, and she will be on as a silver, and I've got to get to manager ASAP. But I think I've also possibly been too technical. So I've got to learn to keep it simple, as you both have shared. And I found it incredibly valuable having participated and listening through this evening.
Thank you so much. I
so appreciate you guys. So please excuse me, we're in load shedding, and I think my candles are getting a bit low. I've got to go and sort things out.
Appreciate you too.
Yeah, cheers everybody. We'll see you all soon. Bye.
Okay, bye, Lisa.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. So to go back to where we were just a moment before.
I think we talk about, I just want to quickly elaborate what Lisa said, KRSS, keep it super simple. What Harvey was saying earlier, you know, we just got to keep it simple. Keep it simple.
I always had that as keep it stupid simple.
Or keep it super simple, yeah.
But what we were saying,
it's simple, stupid, yes.
About
super simple. Super simple.
Super simple.
Super simple, but I always had it super simple. But I think we were talking about the nighttime with silent nights. Yes, this is what I was going to say. It may be helpful. I reposted what Christina posted, the list of LifeWave Connect webinars, and the last one on that list is David Schmidt talking about silent nights. So you may want to watch that with Ingi in mind. Do you know the list?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so that's what I would do.
Awesome. No, it's a very good idea, George. Very good idea.
Full of them. Always got an idea.
Maybe get Ingi to do it.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
That's a pleasure. Thanks, guys. Thank you so much for your time. It was really awesome hanging out with you guys. I think we shared a lot of cool stuff with each other. So looking forward to next week. You guys must have an awesome week. Share your stories, share your pictures. Let's have fun together. Let's
I want to say something else. So eventually, so at the moment we've been doing calls once a week, and it's important. I know a lot of you are doing your own calls, and it's important that we don't wait. I mean, you might see somebody on a Thursday and say, wait, I'll tell you about this, but come on a call on a Wednesday, which is a long time, and maybe they can lose their interest, and Wednesday is a long time away from Thursday. So it's quite important, quite important to eventually, I'm imagining that with this group, there'll be probably 2 or 3 Zoom calls by different people. For example, in our Spanish group, I'm with Yvette, we're doing Zoom calls on Monday and Tuesday. Monday's a presentation, Tuesday's a workshop, but she with Davo, her husband, they're in Mexico, so they're doing the same thing on Wednesdays and Thursdays, so people have regular, so eventually, that's what I'm imagining will happen. That's what I'm kind of.
Yeah, no, definitely. They're all gonna overflow and interlink. So cool, guys. Enjoy your evening, enjoy your weekend, and yeah, we'll see you next week Wednesday, next week Thursday. We'll keep our updates on the group. Cool, guys. Enjoy, George. Thank you for an awesome call. It's a pleasure.
Bye.
Okay, good night, everybody. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.